Hello, everybody. Welcome back to RollPlay Verona, episode number 13. So let's see. Let's find out.
Let's see.
So
Yeah,
we'll cut right back. We'll cut right back to you, Chaplain. You are in the cell. I think maybe we start with Alexandra. We start with Carsten, and she's sitting in her cell, and she's just kind of like looking into the distance, and we can see her her shoulders rising and falling. She's wearing the gray jumpsuit, the prisoner's jumpsuit, and on her neck, we can see that she has a fresh, like tattoo, burnt into her skin of lines with a number. But we can also see that the tattoo is sitting on like a mass of scar tissue. The rest of her skin is pretty normal, but there's this like patch of scar tissue that this tattoo has been zapped onto. And maybe when we see that, when we linger on that detail, she puts a hand up and just like touches it gingerly, and then sighs and shakes her head, and then we hear and the door to her cell opens, and she stays sitting. There's not like very far to go, but she stays sitting and she looks up, and she sees you and doesn't respond.
Step in, let the door close behind me. Alexander Carsten. I'll just
She doesn't
wait a second.
Doesn't respond. Yeah, doesn't say anything.
I take the Bible in my hands, and I'll just say, I'm sure that you are anxious. No doubt you are resigned to silence. I'm sure that these Crux officers will have many questions, but I wanted to come to you first, to offer you a chance of confession before God, so that you can speak of your sins, and perhaps earn a slight chance to enter back into God's grace.
I don't have anything to say to you or to your God, priest.
That is a shame to hear, Alexander. You know, I can offer you a path that will end all of this, that will be quick and easy, that will let you be a martyr to the people that you fight for. Or you can do it Crux's way, where they will hurt you and keep you alive. They will bury you into nothing. Your name will be erased from records and you will be forgotten. Or you can take my path, which is the easier one.
My name doesn't even belong to me. It belongs to the people. You can't take it away from them. You can threaten me if you want. I'm not afraid of you or House Crux.
Alexandra, I am not here to threaten you. I'm here to save you. And then I want to dash forward, pull the squeal out from the Bible, and just jam it into her neck or something, or any visible area that I can get to.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So like take her by surprise with a moment of quiet, and then jam in the serum.
Yeah. Try to just grab her and like get the serum in. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think that there's any. There is a chance that she could like, this could go bad for you. Let me roll. You can roll with like a bonus because you're definitely gonna surprise her. She didn't see that coming.
Okay.
But let me
like an exert or something.
It'll just be like a versus test. I think like punch probably.
Okay.
Because you're trying to like you're basically trying to like wrestle her to a point where you can inject her with the thing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, do I have to use strength or can I use dex because I'm trying to like do it?
Oh no, you can totally use dex. Yeah, whichever is appropriate for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can use it's a grapple. Like if exert is better for you, you can use that. There's lots of room for negotiation around that. So
yeah, exert would be better for me, or stab. I don't know if that would also count.
Stab, I think would be like
more of like
it's too aggressive. Like you'd break the thing, but exert is fine too. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So normally she'd have a bonus, but you surprise her. So I'll roll, and then you just have to beat.
Okay.
Oh,
Jesus, Adam. And do I get a modifier because she's got like her hands behind her back or anything, or?
She is not restrained inside the cell.
Okay.
She is sitting down, and Yeah, and you can go after her with exert.
I'm definitely not going to beat an 11, so... Oh my god!
Shit!
Oh my god!
The power of Christ compels you!
Oh, thank you, Lord!
God smiles upon you, my chaplain.
Awesome. Okay.
I believe.
So, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
So you I think what do you mean you win? What does it look like?
Well, I suppose so maybe like because she got such a high roll, maybe she like times it, leaps forward, but she doesn't expect me to teleport directly behind her and then just
Shit.
like right in
Right.
the neck. And then
Yeah,
I
so
shove
maybe-
her
I mean,
against
maybe
the
it
wall
even-
afterwards.
Maybe it even looks like she sees you start to move and her like combat instincts kick in. She lunges for you and grabs you and like goes to like throw you against the wall and try to gets her arm up to like choke you out, and then you're gone. She falls forward, but she doesn't even fall forward enough to hit the door because you grab her and then get her. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And then
so
this
she's
time
shocked.
Yeah, so in the time while she's shocked, I'll probably pull the high church pistol, my laser pistol, out, and I'll just keep it ready so like in kind of John Wick style, like it's not, I can basically easily train it on her if I need to.
Okay.
And then I'll just turn around, and now that she's got the squeal in, I'll just outright just say, what is it? Tell me how you knew that the synth was aboard the ship.
Okay. So she blinks hard a couple of times and her ice blue eyes get kind of foggy. She like puts her hand on the wall, sits down, like holds her head. She looks up at you.
Tell me how you know that the synth was aboard.
Registers the pistol. And let's talk about what Squeal does. So Squeal is a truth serum that is unreliable, but still one of the best available options for field interrogation. For 5 minutes after being affected by it, you are unable to avoid answering questions about facts known to them. They'll be unable to exercise anything resembling a hypothesis or judgment, but will answer specific questions about facts known to them truthfully. Unwilling victims can attempt a physical saving throw. On a success, they simply refuse to speak about one particular topic of their choice. So let me make the roll for her. Let's see how she does. Oh, Jesus, Adam. She's so strong. All right. So the one particular topic, I guess I'll say it so everybody knows what it is. The one particular topic she will not talk to you about is the sabotage of the ship, of the sad song Say So Much. So she won't tell you about anything having to do with that. So you see, and you've used Squeal lots of times.
Yeah.
And you can see her shaking off most of the effects. You know that she's still gonna be a little punch drunk, and you know she's gonna pass out eventually as it rushes through her system. Yeah. So I think yes, because you're asking. The question was, how did you know there was a synth on board? And I think she's
seeing that take effect. I changed my line of questioning. Who gives you information about synths in general?
And she says, your house of cards isn't as stable as you think it is, Father. You've got sinners in your clergy. We have connections everywhere.
Who specifically provided you the information on synths?
I don't know. Contact of a contact. Marlo.
Why would Marlo know?
Because he's a triangulum. That's why. Some cousin of his feeding him information. Not everybody is so happy about the way that House Crux handled the Cygnus situation. A lot of angry scientists.
I will. Gets it from my cousin. Triangulum information. Marlo knew about synths. Sorry, I'm trying to think because Valencia would be quicker at this than me.
I mean, and you have time too, because she's like shaking her head and trying not.
Of time.
Yeah, I mean, you could have up to, based on her resilience, like you could have up to 6 hours before she passes out. You
Okay.
only have 5 minutes to ask her questions.
Questions. Where did you meet Marlo? How did you get in contact with him initially?
The system is built so that even if we could ask these kinds of questions, we can't answer. I don't know. Met him at a drop point.
Who arranges these drop points? How do you get your information?
People in charge.
How do I access your comm data? Give me your passwords.
She says, there's nothing to search. I don't have a personal comms.
Where do you store your mission related data? What was your next target after the sad song?
The sad song wasn't supposed to blow up where it did. But you knew that already.
Where was it supposed to blow up?
She just sneers at you.
Yeah, because it's part related. Fuck.
Yeah.
Where's your base of operations?
Everywhere. She grins.
Specifically, name me a location where agents of your organization work.
Any planet where there are people with the Imperial boot on their neck.
Name one.
Ikea.
Give me a system. Ikea. I'm spelling it like the Swedish furniture store, by the way.
Yeah, it's IKEA.
IKEA.
Yeah, no, so you know about IKEA.
it.
So IKEA is a Yakia. It's a planet in the Satso system. It's an acre holding. It's known as the breadbasket of the Empire. It's basically just like a planet of farms and fields. Acre's control over Yakia of late has been not good. They're having a lot of labor problems there.
Okay. Do the other operations in your group use synths?
I don't know anything about the operations of my group. Only my cell.
Want more information on the synths? Kill the synths.
Right.
How do you reprogram synths in general?
I'm a smart woman, father, but I'm not that kind of smart. I don't know.
Then who is? This Marlo?
And you can see it like just kills her to sell out Marlo like this. Like,
Yeah.
and she like, you can hear her teeth grind and she's like, she just nods.
Okay. You kind of already knew that anyway, but just confirms. Okay, here's a question. What would make Marlo tell me? What does Marlo care about? Does Marlo have any family?
How do you think he got the codes in the first place?
Who is his family?
Other nobles. I don't know
that
them.
he has contacted recently?
Shakes her head. And I think you can see her starting to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You got maybe like one more question.
One more question.
In you. Yeah.
Trying to think. I'm trying to make it a good one.
Yeah, and like you would have prepared this in advance, and it's okay. Like you said, like it's not 5. It's 5 minutes of like in-game time, with the understanding that Chaplain Valencio is a much more hardened interrogator than Mark Holmes is.
Yeah.
Mark has never had to inject someone with a terrible drug and then drag information out of them, but the chaplain has.
I think I've got the last question I'm going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
What was the location and nature of the drop point that you were to use next after you completed your mission? Because this could let me.
We were going to Berkman.
Berkman? How were you to contact your cell? I suppose like that, like follow on. But I guess
Yeah, and
will be
she
conscious.
like grabs her head and like looks up at you, and you can see the clarity has kind of returned to her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and she scowls, and
Okay.
she's just like she's angry at you and angry at herself, and like in a way vindicated because like she knows she didn't break. You forced her with drugs. And
Yeah, of
like
course I did.
that's so like you imperialist pig. Like of
Yeah.
course you did. Yeah.
Okay. I'll step back so that like if she tries to grab me, I've got some time because I know I can teleport out of the cell if I need to at a pinch.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'll put the gun away, and hold the put the book in my pocket as well, and just say, "Thank you for your confessions, Alexander, but I'm afraid that God will not forgive anyone that meddles with synths to do their unpleasant business. I'm going to ensure that the Crux look after you for some time, and I'll just leave."
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think she's too dazed to like give you the snippy like I was gonna say the snippy like the villain's last line, but I think we both know who deserves the villainous last line in this scene, so I'm gonna give it to
Mhm.
you. And
In
yeah,
fact,
you just
actually,
walk. Yeah.
just before I
Mhm.
walk out, this is probably kind of really stupid, but I'm gonna because I know that the cameras are off.
Mhm.
I'm gonna punch myself in my wounded ribs really badly, like really just kind of wail myself,
Uh-huh.
stumble out, and then I'll say to the Crux guards, like, I'm afraid that Alexander has tried to strike a priest while he tries to offer her confession. Please make sure that that is noted in her.
Yeah, they do. They note it. They note it as they extend their snap batons
Oh,
and pass
yeah,
into the cell past you. One of
yeah.
them is like,
Instant.
one of them he takes you like under his arm and he's like, God, these godless dogs. I'm so sorry, Padre. And like brings you aside, and we see two more guards basically like shove her back into the corner of her cell, and the door slides shut. And
Yep.
in the background of the shot, there's like cell cam on, one blank one, and then two more off.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the Crux officer like helps you over to sit down and is like, like, are you okay? Do you need to go to do you need to go to medical?
I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, no, thank you, officer, but thank you. It is good to know that there are loyal agents of the Lord and the Emperor aboard the ship that will make sure such sinners and traitors uh, get what they deserve.
And
Make
he
sure that
says
we.
he says to you, he's like,
Mhm.
thank you, Father. It's times like these, when we need men like you the most. I swear, once the prince becomes emperor, we'll show these people. Sometimes, a dog's got to get kicked. Remind them where they belong. People like Karsten, they've forgotten what imperial justice feels like.
I just hold my hands up. I'm saying, I'm sure the High Exarchs will choose a fitting emperor to take the throne. And when it does so, perhaps we can finally bring this empire back into unity. I just kind of nod
Yeah.
sagely and
Right.
comfort.
Cool. Okay. All right. So, meanwhile, I think Nomi and Booker, you go to meet with the Amira outside of the dead man's room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. So, what do they see when they arrive? Kieran, what are you doing? Like pacing, standing quietly in the hallway? What does it look like?
No, I just have my back to the wall, sort of like leaning against it, next to the door, almost like kind of standing watch, but
Mm-hmm.
also a little bit bored because it's been a while.
Okay. All right. You get that Argus lean going on. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, and there are two guards outside, and yeah, and on the floor there's a blood stain. And the two of you are walking up.
I guess I'll
I'm gonna let
put my compad away
If-
since I've been fiddling on it
if
and
also-
stand up straight.
Mhm.
Up to this point, I don't I don't think Nomi told Booker exactly what was going on. So I'm going to say that on the way there, Booker would have asked for details if she didn't willingly, say it, just so he knew what he was walking into.
Mhm.
So he at least knows, who's dead, blah, blah, blah. So he's not completely well, that's surprising,
Yeah, unless
Unless
Nomi
she's
is
gonna be
actively
prepared.
hiding things from you.
Nope. He's the detective.
Okay.
So I've filled him in on everything that I knew at least on the way there. And then I'm gonna let him kind of take the lead. So as we walk up, Nomi kind of slows down and lets him walk in front of her.
Booker kneels down and tastes the blood. I'm just kidding.
It's
Detroit
still warm.
He just
It was
licks
just,
the ground.
I was just thinking Detroit become human. The whole
Yeah. No, Booker just wipes the blood on his
He's
face
like,
and takes out a spear and he's like, the hunt has begun, and then runs off naked down the hallway.
Oh man, I wonder if you could convince Adam to take a foci where you can taste blood to tell if it's a synth blood. That'd be an
Oh my God, I
amazing
want
power
it.
for
That
Booker.
would require very specific training. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
There
cybernetics.
is one foci that just allows you to do something, isn't it? Like you just kind of. It's the
Yeah,
one
like a
blood
wild
lick.
talent.
Give me
Blood
the feet blood lick.
Synth.
So Booker, I think you of everybody is the most familiar with crime scenes, and so you smell like the ozone smell of laser discharge in the air. Obviously there's the coppery smell of blood because of the blood, yeah.
Can I tell based on the discharge how long ago this happened? Alone?
No, but if you go in and look around and get a better, so one of the officers, when you approach, I guess the two officers, they salute Nomi, and they say, nobody, one of the women that's there, she says to you, Nomi, nobody in or out since we were called.
How
Excellent.
many people have?
Oh, I was just gonna, because they looked at me, so I'm gonna say excellent.
No, it's
yeah, sorry.
it's perfect. It's perfect that Booker started talking because
No, it is.
he's not in charge anymore. So Booker's
Yeah.
starting to ask questions, and Nomi starts to ask questions, and you both kind of pause. And
Yeah.
the officers, because they're good, they don't say anything or do anything. But
Booker concedes. He's just like, sorry, Nomi. We're serious. He says serious.
I look at him for a second and I look back at the officers and I say, excellent work. Please stand guard. Greaves here will be taking charge. And then I kind of motion to him.
How many people have been inside?
um,
And who?
they look
Just-
at each other. Yeah, they look at each other
Yeah.
like they don't have the answer, and then they look at you. Can
I walk over and just myself and the chaplain went inside. The Crux officers merely maintain the perimeter.
Did you touch anything? Anyone touch anything?
No. Mostly the chaplain did the investigative work, and he assured me he knew how to maintain the crime scene and the integrity of any clues that may have been inside.
The boots you're wearing, are they the same boots you were on contact in the mission?
Yes.
And the chaplain as well, he didn't change?
No. He wouldn't have had time to.
Booker's just eliminating what sort of compounds he might find or whatever, Okay. He's like, give me some time with the scene. Booker takes out a thing out of his bag to put on little hermetically sealed things that seal over his boots yeah. So he's basically got little ninja tabbies on, little medical ninja tabbies.
I mean, it totally makes sense that you're an investigator. This is your job. It makes sense that you'd have a forensics kit that would help you with doing this. Yep.
If you have any
Moving suit.
questions about, I don't know if it would be helpful or not, Officer Greaves, but if you have any questions regarding exactly how the body fell forward or anything like that, I don't know if it would be useful from a physics perspective, but I can let you know anything you have questions about.
You tell me everything you know. That's a start.
Well, we came to establish contact with the man in question. We were told by Crux Security that he was inside of his room, but he wasn't answering. We had the room unlocked remotely, opened the door, and he fell forward. Face up.
So he was leaning on the door.
I believe so. Yes.
Strange. Booker, like,
We didn't
his
move
eyes,
him at all.
like, you can see like the cogs are working in his head. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take some time with the scene. And then Booker opens the door and slides in.
Okay.
I roll notice for everything, Adam. I'm sciencing the shit out of this. I'm Batman.
Yeah, do it. Just do it. Yeah.
Scan
Booker
mode.
Booker vision. The room turns blue.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and make a notice roll. Make it with your intelligence as you investigate the room, moving from object to object.
Intelligence.
And since you have like a forensics kit, you can ask me more specific shit than I could have given Valencia, because Valencia was just using his weak ass human eyeballs, which we've always had.
Weak ass human eyes.
I know, right? Yeah, dude, 12. What would you like to know? Let us reconstruct the crime scene, Booker Greaves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Based on what I know, examining like the entry point and the position, like the way that it does this seem like it would be from what I've seen, is it consistent with the suicide, or is it somebody who looked like they were?
So I know we were joking about it before, but like I could absolutely see from Booker's perspective this kit that you have allowing you to create an augmented reality like hologram simulation of the situation, right? Like I think that's totally within the bounds of the universe and the gear that you have. Yeah,
that's probably the first thing it does. He sets down like kind of a thing with a little mini tripod, and then it pops up and it goes a few times and scans the room.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we immediately see, as you look around the room, we can see inventory tags for each object in the room. So it tells you like where they were made and where they came from. All of this stuff is like in a catalog somewhere of like Crux requisitions, like the bed and the sheets and the cart, like all that stuff. You're getting like fiber analysis of his clothes, that kind of thing, like leftover like footprints. You can start picking up like heat signatures. It looks like he's been dead, and I don't know like an exact number of hours, but he's been dead since just after you left the ship to go to the sad song.
Yeah, so literally right after we talked to him, and
basically right after you were about to arrest him and then you left, he was killed or died.
Suddenly Booker's voice changes to the Detroit becoming, he's been dead 9 hours.
No, don't talk like a synth. Nomi will kill you. So yeah. I guess what do you want to know? There's the gun, there's the dead body, there's the room. Ask me questions.
Yeah, I'm examining the gun. Specifically, can I trace back whose gun this was? Was it his gun? Is it? I mean, I'm assuming they keep track of that.
So you take a look at it. It is a Crux service pistol. It's the standard, like you have one in your holster right now.
Right.
And it's got the purple mark of House Crux on the grip. It has a serial number, but in your overlay, as you bring it up, the place where in the HUD it would display the serial number, it's a bunch of garbage characters. Like it's like serial number, ampersand, $, E with an umlaut, like it's corrupted or like intentionally filed off.
Beep boop, beep boop.
Fingerprints on the gun? Any sort of
police
fingerprints
pistol.
or organic?
Only his.
Oh.
No, just his fingerprints. Yep. And the energy cell was last discharged right around when he died. Like it lines up.
Okay. Based on the angle of like the entry from the laser pistol, is it consistent with a suicide, or is there any sort of like, from Booker's knowledge, I feel like my gut tells me obviously that it's not, but like it was
we
placed
see
that way.
Yeah, we see you like turn to face him and you crouch down and you create a hologram of him like sitting, and like it's consistent with a shot from like slightly lower than eye level up and back into his face from his hand. And then he fell backwards against the door. His arms fell out, and he dropped the gun on his left side by his knee.
So he was sitting like, from what I'm seeing, the speculation is that he has the gun down like this, and he's like looking down.
No,
and
so
like that. I'm confused.
he would be based on
Or is
your
it more
understanding,
like
he was sitting with his back against the door, and then had the gun and turned it to face him and shot himself in the face
Okay.
at about a distance of like a foot or 2, foot and a half.
Okay.
There's a laser burn on the door behind his head, and then there's blood obviously from his head and on the back of him, and then there's like a slide mark as he like slid down slightly after he died.
Okay, I'm gonna examine the floor to see. I'm already aware that there's the chaplain's footprints on there and Amira's.
Yep.
I want to scan for anything, so I guess I would take those out of the search parameters. If I can do that.
Oh yeah, totally. Like yeah, so we see this mess of like footprints, and then yours turn purple, and the Amira's turn blue, and the chaplain's turn gold, and then you peel all of those away and see what's left. Yeah, it looks like he paced back and forth in the room. Like there's a corridor of tracks that kind of go like around like that. And that's it, and it matches like his shoes, the bottom of his shoes.
Okay. Next I would do I'm gonna swab some of his blood and also just saliva and stuff, and just run like vitals, everything that was in his system, to find out if he was drinking beforehand, if he took any drugs.
Your system, I mean, again, because it's the fucking future, you don't have to wait any amount of time. You just do that in a little box that you're carrying, just like boop beep beeps at you, and it looks like he has like trace amounts of alcohol in his system, but nothing else that the system can detect.
So right now it's leaning towards suicide. I'm going to look at his computer next and see if there was any attempts to communicate to anyone against, like, whether it be on the ship or otherwise externally, any messages in or out, or diaries, anything like that, just searching through his personal files.
So you stand up and you look around. I mean, he's essentially not a refugee, but he's like, he doesn't have a terminal. So you don't see like a box, essentially like a PC anywhere, or a laptop. He would have a on him. He might have a comms thing, but no one searched the body yet.
Okay, I'll search the body for comms thing.
Okay,
his personal communicator / computer, whatever.
Yeah. You find his comm pad on him, and you get it out of an inside pocket, and you look at it, and it comes up, and it brings up the like House Vela logo, and then it's locked. He's got it password protected.
Do I have the ability to override it just on my own, or do I have to like get clearance?
No, I don't think. I think that that's not. Yeah, that's outside of the forensics kit's ability. You need to take that to InfoSec.
Okay, so they can't. What I'm asking you is, like, can I remotely like talk to someone and be like, give me access to?
You could get somebody started on it, but that will take longer, because unlike standard forensics where the forensic science will increase, but like the crime scene will never get that much more complicated. Cryptography and breaking, they go up together. So yeah, you'll need a real.
Okay, so it seemed like he either purposely locked it out. I mean, or somebody locked it out. So okay, so then
yeah,
I'll make
the thing is you're in orbit. You're in orbit over like galactic FBI headquarters. So they are very, very good at breaking into people's private shit when searching for crimes. So yeah, it'll probably take like a day, but that's a lot better than the like billion years that it would take a normal person to like crack this stuff.
Okay, so then Booker takes it out, with his gloves, and puts it in like a bag. His like, is it a bracelet you said, or
his would have been.
The tech is.
Yeah, it would have just been like a cell phone, essentially, like a big. Like,
he's putting it in an evidence bag, tablet in the bag, and he's gonna give that to somebody to. Yeah, he'll just call away to have him, break into it and find out anything that they possibly can.
Okay, take it to InfoSec and crack it. Okay.
Trying to think. Anything anomalous on the body other than no signs of any sort of struggle other than he's just trying to basically confirm that everything is lining up consistent with a suicide, looking for any sort of anomaly that's weird.
The only like weird or unreal thing about the body is that it has a big laser hole in his face. Otherwise, he's pretty much just a human.
What you got right there is a hole inside his face. That's a problem right there. That's what killed
You're not a doctor. You're not a doctor, but you're pretty sure he died of a laser shot to the face.
Okay. Anything else in this room was pretty unremarkable from what I remember too. So it's pretty straightforward, I would imagine. If I've already scanned the room for anything like that, check the body.
Yep. There's no sign of struggle or intrusion. None of that.
Is the alcohol here so I can tell if it was, something that he drank in this place or if he was left somewhere else?
Yes. Yeah. So you look around. There is an empty glass in the sink in the bathroom. But there's no, again, because it's a spaceship, there's no like garbage can, right?
Yeah.
There is trace drops of alcohol of like it's like vodka on the floor next to the sink and then near the little disposal unit. So whatever he poured it out of, he probably just chucked it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would have been sucked away and destroyed by the ship's garbage processing.
And just with a quick once over to the bathroom, looking like a bathroom. Nothing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The toilet is a mimic.
Yeah, right. You walk over the toilet and roll initiative, motherfucker. Just jumps on and
Was
bites
this
you in
prey?
the face. It's somebody's horrific nightmare.
You hear the from like the little garbled sound from prey from the typhoid.
Yeah, and then you die from a horrible toilet bite.
All right. And Booker stands up, looks around one more time, stares at the body. He's like, looks at him for a second. He's like, "You should have talked to me," and just walks out of the room.
Okay. So when you step out into the hallway, obviously everybody's waiting for you to finish your investigation. One of the officers says to actually they wait to get your report to Nomi because they want to take the body away and like clean up, get a pleb in here to clean up. So when you step out of the room, everybody is like waiting there for you.
Yeah. Immediately to the officers for a second. Well, actually, before he says that, he's going to go protocol. So he's going to go to report to Nomi first. After thoroughly investigating the crime scene, it looks like suicide. Clearly, it seemed like he was stressed about the last visit that I had with him and whatever else is going on. I can't speak to that. Traces of alcohol in his system, suggesting that he drank beforehand to deal with the anxiety and just whatever was crushing on him. And my gut was saying that this is. I wanted to believe that it seems like a suicide. I ran every test I can think of to find any anomaly that wouldn't be consistent with a suicide. Consider the fact that he was leaning on the door as it opened. It would be very difficult to set that. Not that it wouldn't be possible. Only footprints that I found was him pacing back and forth, which again is consistent with high levels of stress. And then it seems like he ended it. Probably fearing what laid after him should he be discovered.
And that certainly wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Like you've
Right.
definitely gone to bust perps and shown up and they're like hanging from the rafters.
Yeah. And then he mentions the tablet, his communicator system. He's like, found this on his body. Yeah. Found this on his body. It's completely locked, but we'll have this I want this sent to be cracked. And then he hands the bag to
one of the officers.
One of the officers, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They can take it to InfoSec for you.
Okay. So I nod and I just say, thank you. Your investigative skills are unmatched. I appreciate your concise report.
I wish there was more to go on.
Yes, perhaps that data pad will give us more information. And then to like whoever he handed it to, I just say that's a priority.
Okay. Yeah. So they they salute you and they tell you they'll send someone to take care of the body. If that turns up anymore, if like a deeper forensic scan of the corpse turns anything up, and then before they go, one of the officers looks at you, Kiran, and says, like it looks like they're gonna ask you like what to do with, like, should we call their family, or like, this is a Valen, I don't know what to do with them. But then they're like, no, they don't say anything. They're like, we can figure this out on our own, and they like turn away from you. But there is that moment where they're like, shit, what? Never mind, it's not your job. And then they leave with the data pad. And over the course of the next little bit, yeah, like they clean up the crime scene now that you're done with it. They do a bunch of, like, you have your devices scanned it, so you have a 3D rendering of it if you need it for later. They clean up the place, they replace the flooring where it was damaged by the blood, and the body gets taken to the doctor, and the data pad gets taken to where they can copy it and beam that copy down to Hyra to have it cracked. So in the meantime, while you're waiting for that, what's everybody going to do? Or I guess rather, like, Chaplain, do you let them know that you found out some information, or do you just wait until, like, let them go in and talk to them themselves?
I'd probably, because I know that Marlo's going to have some of the answers I want, I would probably give it a little bit, but then maybe message Nomi directly.
Okay. All right. So let's do that then. So Nomi, where are you when the chaplain reaches out to you?
How much longer has it been? Did you say?
I mean, it's up to you. Like, if you have something that you want to do, you know, you can before you talk to the chaplain. But I think it's just like an amount of time.
I probably would have gone to, like, report what happened to Yancey.
Yeah, in this case, you would likely write up, you'd write up a report, and then he would follow up with you.
I'd just be like in my room or like office or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's true. So you actually have an office now. You have a room and an office. Yeah. So you where are you then? Are you in your new office?
Office. Yeah.
Okay. Is it decorated? Describe your office to us, please.
So, you know, in Star Wars, when the officer walks into Vader's meditation chamber.
Awesome. Yes, I do know that.
It's obviously not as like epic as that, but there's like nothing, right? It's just like, here's my office, this is where I work, and like it is that's it. Like it's purely utilitarian. The same photo that she had before in her room that we saw in the past of her family that is like kind of folded is on her desk, and like that's it.
Okay, cool. All right, so you you get a comms request from the chaplain.
Cool. Then I answer, yes, chaplain, how can I help you?
Sirius, I must inform you, there's been something of a small incident down in the cells. I had gone in to take confession from the terrorists, as is my duty to do, and Alexandra has attacked me, but not before she gave me some gloated information. I believe that this Marlo may be the one who has been orchestrating their information regarding synths. I believe I also may know of some other locations where this cell may be operating. If you want to come down to the cells, I could certainly use your abilities in interrogating this Marlo, and I would like to discuss it with you in person.
Can I do like a roll for how much I know about Carsten?
Yeah.
Or something like
absolutely.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Let's see. It'd be a no roll. just to see what you were aware of. You can roll it with intelligence. Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
7.
Okay. All right. So you probably know more than the average person. I would say most people they would recognize the name. Some people would just be like, "Oh, that's that bad terrorist." Other people would have a little bit more historical information. You're slightly better educated than other people. Yeah, her name is Alexander Carsten. She has been connected to several different theoretically interconnected terrorist organizations. That's the trick about these organizations. It's hard to tell whether they're people acting independently or if it's part of a larger network. And she has been credited with several terrorist attacks on ships, on bases, and she seems to target predominantly places where the Empire and Acre intersect. She's never taken credit for an attack on a noble ship or facility before. Mostly she goes after Acre. But this is if she's responsible for blowing up this Valen ship, this would be the first time in her history.
Was the church attack on a Acre thing as well?
The church attack was on Demnoth, which is the Acre homeworld.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So it was on a church facility, but it was on the Acre homeworld, and basically they drove an explosive laden shuttle into the VIP box of like the Acre Christmas special. So she has this like deep-seated hatred of Acre and the Empire for like fostering it. Apparently, she's never released like a manifesto or anything, or if she has, the Empire has made it go away before anyone got a hold of it. But you could do deeper research into that if you were to look into like if you were to ask permission from the house. The Richter would have to get that for you. But yeah, it's definitely like banned literature if it exists.
Would I know if she was religious? Because he said that he went to take confession, and that's what I was wondering. Is like,
well, she's not a religious terrorist. She's never been like, I destroy Acre for God. We don't have any records of that being the case. She seems to be a secular agent.
Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't.
Cool.
I mean, again, keep in mind that like, if you were to ask like 99% of the people in the Empire would be like, yes, of course I'm religious. I believe in God and the Emperor, and like yes, but she's not a religious extremist in any way that you know of.
Right. Okay. So after the chaplain kind of finishes everything that he was saying, I say, you went to take her confession. I wasn't aware that Alexander Carsten was religious.
It is something that we offer to all pilgrims of the Empire. I would have gone on to the others, but her surprising, the information and her attack have stunned me a little. But yes, I thought that I would get her over and done with. It seemed that my presence incensed her in some way. She gloated, which I think gave away some information, and then became angry. The guards have taken extreme measures after she attacked me.
A pilgrim of the Empire. It would seem that Carsten is decidedly not a pilgrim of the Empire.
After her reaction to my presence, I can only agree with you, Ceres, but it is my duty to offer these services to all, unless they are soulless machines.
Chaplain, can you make the same roll real quick? Knowledge and or a know and an intelligence roll.
Yes. Know and intelligence, yeah.
Yeah, this is just a quick like historical thing. Okay. Alexander Carsten has technically been excommunicated from the church, which doesn't preclude you're going to her and like treating her like a person, but that would be an act of like deep charity on your part. She's been excommunicated, so technically she's like about as good as a synth or lower.
Okay.
So this would show you as being like very like a gentle, maybe like a doting soul. Like Nomi, you might think of the chaplain going to see this woman as like kind of foolish or like silly, because the high church has already been like, she's not a person anymore. So
if I
don't worry
think
about
of that, I'd probably add on like something along the lines of like, I know it might seem strange, but I thought at least to give her a chance to confess to something. Perhaps, although she has, perhaps she has been excommunicated, but perhaps she may have had some fears, fearing death aboard a Crux ship. I thought that perhaps it may be something I could offer.
Interesting. So, I apologize for the questions. I'm just trying to understand how it works. This is my first time working with a chaplain on my squad.
Oh,
This is a service
my-
that you offer to all of our prisoners.
It is something that I try to, yes. And my apologies to you, Cirrus. I was not aware that this is not common knowledge. I'm more than happy to ask your permission in the future. This was just something I felt I had to do.
And what did the other prisoners say when you took their confessions?
I have not had a chance to, I'm afraid. Alexander was the first one, and as I mentioned, I feel a little, well, I was a little taken back. But I would gladly take the others as well.
Yes, I would not advise that you speak with a dangerous woman like that on your own. We have guards for a reason.
Yes, I thought that perhaps the presence of the guards and the prison cell would subdue her, but it would appear not. But I think that you will find the information quite useful, and this Marlo definitely seems to be the key to whatever they were attempting. He seems to be the hinge upon which a lot of their cell relied upon.
Well, I appreciate you giving me this information. I was on my way to interrogate Marlo just now. In the future, I
Excellent.
would appreciate if you speak with me before you go and interrogate our prisoners.
I was merely offering a chance to speak, but of course, Cirrus, I will do this in the future.
Thank you. And I hang up.
Okay. All right. So what are you going to do after your conversation with the chaplain? Do you just like finish your report?
Yeah, I want to finish the report, send that to Yancey, and then go and I want to talk to Marlo.
Okay. Well, let's stick with you then. So you finish up your report. It is, I imagine, immaculate. And you send it off. And yeah, and then you head for the brig. Things are business as usual down here. It's relatively quiet. The officers on duty, they salute you when you show up.
Cool. I salute back and I say, I need to speak with Marlo.
And the officer in charge, the sergeant, says, "Of course, Cirrus." And he kind of chuckles and he's like, "Sorry, Cirrus, which one is that?"
Can I like see him from here or like point at him or something
Yeah.
like
You
that?
can just
Okay,
point
cool.
at the cell.
To make a point as
Uh,
well, I was waiting in the brig because
Okay.
I wanted to be there
Perfect.
when
Yep.
Nomi
Mhm.
interrogated him.
Okay. Yeah. So the chaplain is there and he stands up and he joins you.
Bow my head.
So what are the cells like? Is it like there's a box that has solid walls that I could go? Is it like an interrogation room in like a TV show?
If you want to take him out into another room to interrogate him, you can. The cells they're real little. They're just like this big, and they have a little shelf you can sleep on, and they have like a hole you can pee in, and then there's the door.
Okay, but it's like bars.
But nope, just like a solid metal door with like a little hole in it for you to look in, but that they can't look
Okay.
out.
Cirrus, before you begin your interrogation, there may be something useful information that you can use against this Marlo. Carsten mentioned something about Berkman being their next operation. Perhaps if you refer to it, it may trigger some responses from Marlo. He also apparently has a cousin that has the information regarding the synths. Perhaps we can use this in some way as well. Just something I thought you should be aware of.
Do I know anything? Like, does the word Berkman mean anything to me at all?
Make a know an intelligence roll. I mean, it does, but in the same way that like naming a random like Eurasian country might. What'd you get? A 6? Yeah, it's the name of a planet.
Okay. Cool. Planets. And he has a cousin, you said.
Yeah, again, remember, cousin is like a real loose term that could mean someone in the same house. It could mean like my mother's brother's son, but it might also just mean like another noble.
Okay. Cool.
Not. Yes.
Thank you for that, Chaplain. We should go and speak to him now.
Good. I will leave this in your hands, but I will wait behind you, and afterwards I will offer the same opportunity to confess.
Cool. I just walk over to the guy's cell, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, and the guy in control like will open the cell for you if you want to go in.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So unlike Alexander Carsten, Swan Marlo is looking like prison is not agreeing with him. He's only been here like a couple of hours, but he doesn't seem like he's doing so good. He's sweating through his jumpsuit, like rubbing his hands together, and he jumps, like he starts when the door opens, and he like jumps up and kind of like backs away from you when he sees you come in.
Cool. So I just stand up straight and I fold my hands in front of me, and I say, Tech Officer Marlo, tell me about yourself.
And he looks at the chaplain and then looks at you. And do you like come into the room and let the door close, or are you just like standing in the open door? I imagine you'd want to go in, right, for security.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm keeping behind Nomi. Like I'm taking a very sort of back seat, like just being quiet.
Right. And so he's like, what?
Tell me about yourself. How did you come to be aboard the Sad Songs? Where are you from?
I don't have to tell you anything.
You don't. Interesting.
And he kind of like looks at the chaplain like, I don't, right? That's how this works. I don't. And he like,
I just stay quiet.
Yeah, I kind of smile, and it's not a nice smile.
No, I figured it wouldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I look at him and I say, things can go very poorly for you if you don't cooperate. I would prefer that they go well. It's a simple question. Where are you from? How did you get aboard the Sad Songs?
I was let's have you make a roll. Let's see if he's able to resist your willpower here. So this is a talk roll with charisma. And the chaplain, if you'd like to assist, if you'd like to help.
Yeah, can I just assist by like being quiet and unnerving?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Is that talk with charisma, yeah?
14.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna need it, but sure.
No, we just fucking steamrolls this dude. Okay.
There's another +1.
So there you go. You got 15.
Well, no.
So,
I rolled it with a +1 modifier, so it would just be 14.
Okay.
But that's.
Oh, it would be just 14. Perfect. That's great. That's good. So he swallows hard, and he's like, what's gonna happen to me?
Nothing, if you cooperate. Nothing.
Then what the fuck is he doing here?
I'll look to Nomi, like waiting, like making sure that it's okay for me to say something. I'll just look at Nomi.
Yeah. I look at you and kind of give like a brief nod.
I am simply here to hear you confess your sins, my son, in the hope that perhaps there may still be room in God's light for you.
I don't want to be in God's light. What? And he's looking at you like, what the and he's like starting to hyperventilate a little bit.
Well, and I'll just kind of lean in, and I guess that will be like the 10 that I rolled, like for the assistant on this. I'll just be like, well, if you don't wish to be in God's light, my young friend, then I suggest that you are on the Ceres's good side, because you do not wish to displease her. and then I'll just step back behind Nomi.
Yeah. And he looks at you, Nomi, like, I don't know, like you're gonna bite him or something.
Yeah. So I smile again and I just say, "Where are you from? How did you get aboard the sad songs?"
I mean, like, where am I from? Like, before the ship, or like originally?
Before the ship.
Like a bunch of places. I was on Lodestone for a while. And then I was on a freighter for a little bit after that, and then the sad song. I was an engineer. I am an engineer. Fuck. I worked in the engine. You listen. I don't know why I'm in here. I don't know those people, which is a lie. He's lying to you.
Yeah. Tell me when you met Alexandra Carsten.
She came to engineering, and she told me they were going to blow up the ship if I didn't help them. Something about a rogue, illegal, a synth, and I told her that that wasn't my discipline. I'm an engineer. I know how to make ships go fast. That's what I do. And she said if I didn't help, that they would kill me and everybody else on the ship. I mean, you know what this woman is like, right? She's fucking crazy. She's a terrorist. She blew up that church on that acre planet.
Oh,
Some of that is the truth, but not all of it.
We already spoke with Carsten, and she told us that it was you who knows how to reprogram them, the synths.
No. See, that's just a layman's misunderstanding of the technology. I just issued the commands that were sent to me. I don't know how to fucking. I don't know how those. And he looks at you and he says, "Those fucking devil machines. I don't know anything about that shit. That's not me. I don't do that. I just do ships."
Marlo.
So tell me about the sad songs. What happened? Carsten already told us that the bomb exploded unexpectedly, and we examined the crime scene ourselves. We can tell that it was an accident. Tell us what happened.
They wanted me to do something that, as far as I understand, is fucking impossible. But these terrorists, they don't understand how this works. You can't just put a gun to someone's head and say, fly, and suddenly they can fucking fly. I can't fly, Cirrus. So they told me that I had to make it work. I had to make the synth do the thing. They told me they were going to give it a device and that it was supposed to wait until a specific time, and they already had it. There was one on the ship. And I was like, if there's one on the ship, then you should fucking report it because it's going to go crazy and kill us all. I've seen the dramas. I've watched them. I know what these robot things are like. I'm surprised we didn't all die sooner.
I just, shake my head. Integrity is, this is sad.
So, I mean, what do you do when someone's pointing a gun at you, right? You work the angles. You try to figure out a way out. And so I said, fine, I'll ask some questions. I'll talk to some people. I know people. There's symposia. I have degrees. I know other alumni. So I sent some messages, and a cousin of mine, he mailed me back theoretical applied synthetic controls. It's old Cygnus stuff. It's not illegal. And he like looks at the camera like he's talking to like House Crux, and he's like, "It's not. It's all theoretical. We can't use it. It's all Cygnus patents." And so, I did what they told me to do. Okay, I took the code. I said the words, and the fucking thing never even knew. It's like it just went to sleep, and it woke up, and it was supposed to wait. And I guess the math was wrong. I don't know. Maybe the thing has some kind of clock error. I'm not a fucking roboticist. I've seen what happens to my family when they go the wrong way. I had nothing to do with it. I gave my deposition to House Crux when all of this started. They made me do it. I swear.
Look at Naomi.
I kind of like give him like a sad nod as though I'm like buying into his story. And I say, that sounds very difficult. Tell me what you know about Berkman. If you can tell us what you know, there's a chance that we can still save some lives.
Berkman? Like the gas giant? I don't know. It's a planet. It's in Halesko. It's where those weird religious refugees live. I mean, not in the gas giant. No one can live in a gas giant. It would crush you instantly. Plus, there's no atmosphere. There's an atmosphere, but not one that humans can breathe. There's a planet. You can live there. The people live on it. Ask him. He should know. And he
I look at
points
the chaplain.
You.
Do I
Would you
know
like to
anything
make
about
a
Berkman?
yeah, make a know an intelligence roll. See how you do. It's not your branch of the church, but there is some kind of like thing happening there. Like they're building a new church or something. You're not really. That's not your department. Your department is more of like shotguns and truth serums, and not like church building.
I'm afraid that is not really my branch. That is not really anything to do with my branch. I am aware that the church is building something there, perhaps, but.
So I look back at Marlo.
Yeah, and he's nodding. Like, see, yeah, I don't know.
Can I use my telepathic contact to see if he's lying or if he actually doesn't know anything about Berkman?
Yeah. I'll make a mental effect save for him. I actually have to like look now at like what a level 1 generic NPC would have as a mental effect save. It looks like he succeeds. Maybe it's all the adrenaline, maybe it's his panic, maybe he has like deep level Manchurian Candidate style conditioning that deflects your psychic assault, but you can't get at him. You get only his surface emotions, which is like panic.
Okay. So I look at him and I say, okay, so you don't know anything about Berkman. Do you know of any other synthetics that were part of Karsten's crew?
No. If I did, I would have reported them.
You didn't report the first one.
Yeah. Well, I see now that was a mistake. But listen, it was a Valen ship. It's not like this thing. Their security is minimal. I didn't want the thing to go berserk and kill a bunch of people. And then he realizes like what he said, that like a bunch of people got killed anyway, and he kind of like his shoulders drop a little bit.
Okay. I look at the chaplain and I say, Chaplain Valencio, any questions for Marlo here? Before we
Yes, Siris. Thank you. Marlo, I know that you know how to find. You are the one that helped Carsten find the synth aboard the Valen ship. I know that.
And he shakes his head, and he says, "No. They have a database, old Cygnus serial numbers
that you knew how to access. I am told to believe. You have a cousin, a triangulum, or some such. There was someone that gave you the information that you knew how to crack, that you knew how to access.
When they came aboard, they already knew who the synth was. I just helped them issue the command. I told them it wasn't going to work.
Out of just because this is a Mark question, Adam.
Yeah.
Does that conflict with what Carsten said? Like, did she tell me that Marlo knew how to find the synth?
Under duress, she just threw him under the bus, but I don't think she specifically told you that he like picked the synth out.
No,
I think that fell under the shadow of things she refused to talk about.
Okay, but we do know that he reprogrammed it.
Yeah.
I know that there is someone, a cousin, that has more information about the synths, perhaps the one that does have the database. If you tell us who they are, you may be saving yourself considerable duress. This is a crux ship after all. I'm sure you can imagine the horrors that they will do to you if they find out that you have information that may help them crack down on more of these soulless killing machines. You've seen what they can do. Please help us find them.
Make a talk roll. Let's see if this guy sells out his cousin.
I'm gonna fail. Oh well.
Do you wanna help, Nomi? Because you've been bad copping this guy the whole time. So.
Sure.
Okay.
How can I help? Can I just roll?
Same thing. Talking charisma. Like you have been helping.
Okay, sweet. 7.
Boost it to an 8, I think.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
it's an 8. All right. So he's gonna need like a promise or like some kind of like concrete assurance from you. So he says to you, he's like, and if I tell you who it was to help me, and I give you the codes to my comms database, so you can see it's true.
Mm-hmm. I just nod.
You're gonna let me go?
I cannot, Marlo. That is beyond my range. That is a crux matter. However, what I can
I'm a victim here. I didn't.
I hold
He
my
was about
hands
to say I
up.
didn't do anything, but yeah.
I hold my hands up and I say, I can make a plea of clemency to the investigating officers. I can assure them that you have displayed all of the virtues. If you are willing to perhaps provide some spiritual assurances that you are repentant for what the assistance you have provided these sinners.
And he nods and he's like, I'll give up my title. I'll go to Endophiel. I'll become a monk. Anything, please. I don't want to die.
I cannot. I just hold my hands up and say, I will do the best that I can. I will give a plea of clemency, but we need this information.
Nomi, do you say anything?
No.
No, you just like watch. Okay.
I'm just waiting.
I think.
There's probably like no. Like Chaplin would focus on this guy until he gets the information. Like put my hand on my shoulder, like a real. This is comforting. Padre Valencio is like, I will do my best. Oh
yeah,
my son, my repentant son, just do the right thing. So the Cirrus can shoot you in the face.
He nods, and he's like, fine. Jalen. His name is Florencio Jalen. He's in Signet as a triangulum, but he's a Cygnus. And you just see like the weight of his betrayal just like come down on him. And he just kind of like goes limp and like flops like, oh God, like what have I done?
I hold out a data pad and say the codes.
And yeah, he just like weakly types in like essentially an IP address. And then it prompts a connection. He hits a couple more buttons. You see the 3 like interlocking triangles and then a big file list of all of his communications.
I take it, put it down. I say, yes, you have done great diligence and shown integrity today. And I will speak with the officers in charge and commit a great plea of clemency for what you have done, and your request to repent for your sins will be noted. Thank you.
Yeah, and he's nodding, and he's like, you know, there's like tears streaking down his face, and he's like, I just want to get away from all of this, please. I'm done. I'll do whatever you ask.
I'll stand up. I'll say like, well, if I can offer you a piece of advice, my son, pray, ask for forgiveness. And then I'll just turn around, look at Nomi, nod, and leave.
Yeah, and you walk out, and he's looking at Nomi like, why aren't you leaving? What?
I'm going to make a plea of clemency to the investigating officer. That is what I promised. So,
if I go outside of the cell, can he still hear me?
No. If you walk outside the cell, the door shuts, and he won't hear anything.
Okay. So while we're going, like when he leaves, I start to follow him, but as the door is still open, I say to the guard, I just look at him and I say, the airlock.
And the guard, I think, yeah, just nods, like, good, okay. And two more guards come to help. The door opens, and the guards go in, and Triangulum Shion Marlo is like, wait, no, what's going on? And then they grab him and they drag him out, and he's just shouting like, no, what are you
While
doing?
he's being
He's like
dragged away,
screaming. Yeah.
I will turn to Nomi. Serious Nomika, I would like to request a formal plea of clemency for the life
Request
of...
denied.
Serious.
And so yeah, he gets dragged away.
As he's being dragged away, I say, you aided a known terrorist and the synthetics. The gods may have mercy on your soul, but they are not here today. And I just let them take him away.
Yeah,
we'll pray for you, my son.
Yeah, and he's just losing it, and then eventually they walk through a door that you can't hear through, and it slides shut. And thankfully, the way Crux builds ships, there's always an airlock right near the brig, so he doesn't
Crux
last
is
very
so
long.
smart.
I know, right?
Yep. And I understand. I can understand where your denial comes from, Siriska. It is sad, but still, God received the information to help others today. So, and I smile like I'm not displeased.
Yeah, no, yeah, job well done. So meanwhile, while this is happening, Kieran, you're back from the sad song. There's been a lot going on. There's blood. You have a dead house member. But you have a moment to yourself now. There's a moment to like actually relax. Where do you like go back to your room to rest?
Yeah, I go back to my room to kick off my bloody boots and rest. Have my assistant clean those.
Yeah, awesome. So I
forgot about your assistant. Yeah,
no, it's perfect. So we come back to your room, and yeah, you're like relaxing with a drink or whatever, and then we pan over, and your assistant is like scrubbing your boots in the bathtub.
Yeah,
and like humming to herself. Yeah. And your compad like chimes.
Okay. Does it say who it's calling?
It's not a call. It's a It's a data transmission from Hyra.
I accept.
Okay. The message opens with 3 interlocking hexagons, and then they fade. There is a single archive file, and then there is a text note.
What does the note say?
We thought you might want to take a quick look at this before the Crux get their hands on it. And it's signed a friend.
Huh. Okay. And I want to click on the file. The archive.
Yeah. It's the unencrypted it's the unencrypted contents of your friend's datapad.
What?
Yeah,
Damn,
it's
Vela's got
it's the
some
contents.
freaking
It's the contents of Sunil. It's the contents of Sunil's datapad.
Okay. I go through it. I specifically want to look for his most recent, I guess, like contacts, like probably within the window of like specifically the window after we talk to him or right before we talk to him, like that window of time. To see if he had any outgoing messages or incoming messages once the panic set in that we were on to him. Like, was there anyone he contacted at that moment in time?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of like very well. Let's have you make a roll to see what you can glean from this. So
okay,
you can roll know and intelligence, or you could roll program and intelligence. I think both of those are fine. I think they're the same for you anyway.
Yeah, I think so too.
So you're like flipping through it, and we see the
Mhm.
data pad's projection on your eyes as you like go through. Jesus Christ, blowing it out of the water. Okay, so
I have a
I will
negative
tell
1
you.
no.
I'll tell you. Yeah, you got a crit. You rolled 2 6s. That's the best you could possibly do. Congratulations.
Woo!
In when it counts. Okay, so I'll tell you a couple of things, and you can ask me a few more questions if you want. So this guy is running some very high level, very like significant encryption software on his stuff. Like it's gonna take probably like another 2 days before Crux can break it. So the only way you're looking at it right now is if whoever sent this to you has the key. So they just unlocked it and sent it to you. That's why it only took like
Right.
an hour.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very incriminating emails in this database back and forth. Now, obviously, it's not like alexandra.carsten@terrorism.net, but there's
That would be nice,
like
though.
Be nice,
yeah, right. Yeah. But there's a single contact point between him and and this organization, and basically looking through it, it looks like he was the one that was instrumental in like getting them on board and like hiding their operation while they were there, and he was going to get paid a shit ton of money for it, and that was
Who
the
was
jam.
going to pay him? Was that
It looks like
Carsten?
this person he was talking to was going to pay him a bunch of money. You get the impression, because you have Sunil's like his like all his data pad, right? All of his communications, all that stuff. There's another branch of his comms with a like a family, like a house matchmaker. You've had conversations with these people before.
Mhm.
And it looks like when he was born, he was promised to a member of House Lyra, and he was not into that marriage. And so he's been trying to get out of it. And it came down to a like, well, if you don't want to marry this Lyran guy, you have to pay House Lyra a shit ton of money as like an apology fee, basically. And so it looks like that's what he was trying to get that money for.
Okay.
Which, just as a quick aside, because not everybody is like reading the wiki every 5 seconds, Orpheus is the Lyran homeworld.
Okay.
Because people were asking me about that earlier.
And
so he was just trying to get out of this marriage, and he made a deal to let these people on board. It doesn't look, Orpheus is the homeworld. It doesn't look like his information is he doesn't know there was going to be a bombing or anything. It was just smuggling people on board.
And does he know? Does it look like that he knew that they were at least terrorists, or was he not a part of that?
No. There was no like
safe passage.
He was sneaking them on board the ship through the normal like security channels. Yeah. It doesn't look to you like he has a bunch of invitations to dinner parties.
I was gonna
and it looks
say,
like
what's his relationship with the synth?
Yeah, it looks like they were like casual acquaintances. He had a pretty active social life on the ship. He had lots of friends on his like Spacebook profile. There's lots of invites to stuff. And it looks like he was part of a regular like foodie like dinner party group. And every time they stopped at a new planet, this person, whoever ran the group, would make like meals based on the local cuisine. He didn't make it to the Hiren dinner party because explosions.
Yeah. And where was he? I'm assuming, actually, I kind of probably know the answer to this question, but where was he supposed to arrange passage to? Like, how long was he responsible for these prisoners?
For them, he only had to get them on the ship.
He just had to get them on the ship. He didn't have to
wasn't taking them.
So he just had to forge their credentials. Okay.
Yeah.
So
one thing
strategy to get off that Bergman was their own.
Yes. Yeah, they would have evacuated on their own. I mean, from what you know, their plan was to cripple the ship badly enough they would have to steal a shuttle and then fuck off, right? But one thing that you got a 12, so this is a minor detail, but you notice that almost every single invite to like these dinner parties, there is a thread about confusion over what day and time they're supposed to start. So there are lots that are like, this is the date, and then a message that's like, why didn't anybody show up? And they were like, it's tomorrow. And then, oh yeah, of course, I was just kidding. Or like the date is always a matter of confusion for this dinner party thing, like every time without fail.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what else. Did he have any outgoing messages after Booker and I had our little interview with him? Like any calls to
No.
loved ones or nothing?
No.
Huh. Okay. I have to mull over this a little bit.
Yeah. House Crux doesn't know any of this yet.
Right.
It'll be some time before they get a hold of this data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have
you
a
wanna
couple
just,
days
like
to kind of like look over it if I need to.
Yeah, you got like 36 hours. You could always try and get in touch with the person that sent it to you too.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say
guys
that
do
would
a
be like kind of
we'll control
useful.
R.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to okay, so out of character.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put together the pieces of why the CTO is interested in like this dude in particular. And that makes me curious as to who he was supposed to marry. And maybe that's why they're interested. Is there any like does that person have a name?
His like bride to be. No, they never had direct contact.
Okay, yeah, because he's just supposed to pay them off or whatever.
Yeah, this was a like, I'm sorry, I don't want to marry your kid. I know we promised, but here is like 1 million credits for you to fuck off and never mention it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you
I'll
go.
think about it.
Cool.
I have
Okay.
mulling to do.
Sure.
I have dots to connect.
Booker, while the Valen Amira is taking string and connecting push pins on a terrible wall of faces. What are you getting up to?
Book probably would have reported to Medbay to just patch up the minimum, the little bit. Unless it was so minimal. He was at 12 and he had 9 hit points, so yeah, he took like a little bit. If it's not significant enough, then he's just gonna go to his quarters and patch himself up.
No, I mean, I think it's like an appropriate after mission thing to like go to the medical bay and see the doctor. Okay, all right. So when you get there, I think that it's pretty quiet. I think at this point it's like the ship runs in arcs, but for you it's like, I don't know, midnight or later, right? It's early morning, late night. And you get there, and we see for the first time the other Serpents on the ship. His name is, or their name is Zhao Raman, and Practitioner Raman is a doctor, a Crux doctor. They are wearing just like plain kind of like white green, like hospital colored like a garment. And they have dark skin and sort of medium length hair, and they're with a patient when you arrive, and I think you kind of come in as they're finishing, and the crux is like kind of like flexing his arm, and Practitioner Raman is like, see, you'll be fine. Just stay off of it for a bit, and no more arm wrestling, at least for the time being. And he and he nods and he's like, he leaves. And Practitioner Raman looks up and sees you, and they say, "Oh, good evening, Officer Greaves."
Evening. I need
help you with something.
Yeah, I got a little banged up on the mission. Just want to make sure I'm fit for duty. Check me out and all that standard protocol. He's very
So
like, I don't want to be here. Like
their one cybernetic eye, it's like a green, like a marble. It like rotates slightly, and they look you up and down. And you've been in here a bunch of times. You know that like they're taking a measure of you, and they say, yes, of course, come inside. And they get you to like come in and sit down, and as they're getting out diagnostic equipment and kind of like readying the space for you, they're just making small talk. And so they like, how many times have we had this conversation, Officer Greaves? You come to me with some stab wound from some backwater planet, some gunshot wound from an alley chase. I feel every time you are here, I have deja vu.
I'm just a knife in the kitchen, Doc. You're the one that sharpens me.
You are more poetic than they give you credit for. I have not seen you in some time. You were on Honglu those months.
Yep.
I do not wish to pry, but I can help you with things other than your body's health. If you wish to speak about this experience.
You're worried if I'm fit for duty. I understand. You're not the first. I hear what they say.
No.
Word gets
No.
around on this ship. I'm okay,
Booker,
Doc.
you misunderstand me. Yes. The other officers, high command, the Justicars, they are concerned that you have been ideologically compromised. But they do not know you the way that I do. I thought perhaps you would like to speak to someone who is not concerned about these matters.
It was rough. But it's not something I haven't encountered before.
There are those who say the life of a noble is all glory and gold, and that it is luxury and softness. I think you know the truth of it. You carry that burden heavier than most.
I know nobility is all important crux in this whole ship. You know me, Doc. I've never been one to put a whole lot of stock in all that. I care about the measure of a man or woman. I care about what they're able to do.
Yes. A wise choice, I think. To measure a person by their deeds. It seems funny to me. Those most afraid of what someone might do, what the future might be like, are those who cannot see it, who must only imagine their anxieties. These people in power, they look at you and they see someone dangerous. A man who may wear the colors on the outside, but they fear your heart has changed. I think they simply did not know you very well to begin with.
Not like anybody was a big fan of me before this.
You are a fly in the ointment, Officer Greaves. That is why I like you.
Well, you're not a crux asshole. And that's why I like you.
There are those who would think you foolish, trusting a serpent. We're not all so kind as me.
Well, don't hesitate. Let me restart. Don't get me wrong, Doc. If you cross me, I'll kill you in a second.
Hey, they scowl at you. Like, You wound me. I would like to see you try. I have seen your medical records for the past 10 years. I know precisely where to put the knife. But it's not me you should be worrying about. I hear my cousin has it out for you.
Wait, who's the cousin again?
I mean, he means cousin in the sense of like, know me. The only
Okay,
other
okay,
serpents
okay,
on board.
gotcha. Yeah, the only other serpent. I'm just confirming. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite sure that's going to go. I'll do my duty. If you're reporting to anyone official, of course. It's interesting, to say the least. But I do my job. This is nothing new to me.
I think you will be an officer until you die. You have so little ambition. Unusual for a crux. When you were a boy, did you not dream of being emperor? A knight. Saving the galaxy.
Sure, I dreamed about things. But I don't know if my dreams... He like thinks for a second before he says anything further. Quite fit the mold.
Yes. This is something I understand as well. We must all be in our own way. If I were a seer, I would tell you everything in your future is going to be all right. But I am a practitioner, and so instead I will worry about your body here, now. And they give you a little poke. Now, lie down. I have to run the scans.
Shit.
So you lay down and and they run the scanner over you and they give you some like painkillers, and the rest of the conversation is pretty pretty just like pretty casual. And then you're dismissed. And as the doctor, as the practitioner is leading you out, they say, Booker, you're not as young as you used to be. You have to be careful. You can't go chasing terrorists every day. Maybe a desk job would do you some good. Think about it. There is other ways you can help the Empire.
I do what I'm good at, Doc. Pushing pencils and paper never been my thing.
And they shake their head and they say, well, I will say something nice at your funeral then. Now go on, at least get to bed. It's late. And they turn to another person that's there for attention. And
Booker like kind of like slaps
send
the
you
door
off.
on the way out. Like, thanks as always, Doc.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So you head back to your room, I guess.
I think he actually just goes to like the mess hall, like, just mess hall area, the recreation, like the 10 forward of it. You gotta come up with a name for it. God, stop
I know
calling
we
it 10
do.
Need our own 10
All
forward name.
All right, House Crux, figure out a name for the bar. So you go. I love that you go to the doctor. You get scanned. You get some medicine. The doctor's like, "Go rest," and then you're like, "Fuck it, I'm going to the bar."
Yep.
You're a loose cannon, Greaves. All right. So you head to the bar. And does Booker run into anyone there? It's like 2 a.m. The ship's bar. Are any of you there, or is it?
The chaplain would like a drink.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we follow
day.
Booker. Yeah, it has. We follow Booker to the whatever this place is called, to the bar. When you come inside, we get a nice long shot of it's pretty quiet. There's only a few people here. The end of the like shift that you were on was hours ago, and so the next crew hasn't come in. So it's just pretty quiet. There you go. Booker, you see the chaplain. And when we see the chaplain, what are you doing?
Drinking a whiskey.
Okay.
Sorry, and then
All
go,
right.
Max.
No, that's fine. I sees him drinking a whiskey. He doesn't immediately like walk over to the chaplain. He just like goes up to the bar and like just a little bit of ways, like on the side, respecting privacy and stuff, and orders a whiskey of his own.
turn around. Oh, Agent Graves. I'm not the only one drinking this early in the morning, I see.
Yep. I just came back from medbay getting, standard procedure.
I should probably
I
do
have
that
my own
myself.
medication.
Yes, I'm afraid I'm also of a similar ilk. It has been a while since I've had to go into combat, and quite frankly, I needed the aid to sleep.
It surprised the hell out of me with you. He does like the little like vibrating,
Yeah, right.
I've
Yes,
seen
it
a few
is.
times before. Didn't expect it from you.
Well, it was. Yes, it is a gift, but one I have paid a heavy price for, and one that I have not always appreciated. But in certain situations, as you saw, it can be quite useful. Certainly, it was an aid to me during my years in service, shall we say. And you yourself, I was very impressed the way that you handle yourself, Agent Graves. You are just as tough as they say. I'm glad that we get to work together. It's nice to work with professionals.
Is it? He gives you like a pointed look. Like, I know there's plenty of talk amongst the ship. I don't know you very well, Chaplain. I don't know where you stand. But there's one thing that at least people should know about me, and one thing I pride myself on is being a straight shooter. Whether that be in combat or this.
Agent Graves, yes, of course I hear the things they say about you. I have read the reports on some of the events of Honglu. Let me be a straight shooter with you as well. Of course there are concerns. I'm sure that if any noble went through the ordeal that you did, they would have the same ones. But I feel like fighting alongside someone, seeing how they handle certain situations, it gives you more insight than simply barroom talk. And I was not always a priest. And I kind of move over to Booker now and sit down next to him and look around and make sure there's not too many people. Before I found the church, Agent Graves, I was not happy with my family and how the nobility acted. It is only since joining the church and learning God's wisdom that I have come to understand a little more about it. But I believe that I am working with a good man. And I give him a nod. A man who can do great things for the people in this empire that need help. That is what we are here to do, is it not?
Fair enough.
And by all means, I know that, like you said, you do not know me, but if you wish to, perhaps, and I'll raise the drink. Well, I would not find it displeasurable to share a drink with you now and then. Perhaps exchange a few stories and get to know each other.
Well,
it will.
I don't have many others to talk to. I can't promise illuminating conversation and all that. But if you want a drinking buddy.
Well, leave the illuminating to me. That's what I'm told I'm pretty good at. Perhaps you can just tell me some of the more interesting stories of your life as an officer, a police officer. And we can always, if you wish to hear about anything more illuminating, you can always ask. And yes. And besides, it will be good for us to, if we get into a firefight, it would be good to know that you have my back and I have yours.
Fair enough. Booker just slams the whole
you take your drink, and the door opens to the bar, and you see a woman. She's young. She's maybe 21, 22. She's wearing fatigues from the waist down, and she's wearing just an undershirt, and you can see she's got a big, scary looking eagle tattooed on one arm. It's got kind of a brush cut. She walks in and is beelining towards you. And it doesn't look like she's here to talk to you. She walks up and she leans over between the two of you. She just inserts herself between the two, leans over and grabs the whiskey bottle off of the like shelf. She looks at the two of you and she's like, "Excuse me," and then she walks over to a table and sits down and just starts drinking it by herself.
He's like
on the other side of the room.
But I like the idea that Booker and Chaplin both turn around, like doing the same, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Does Booker recognize her?
Yeah, maybe. You've only ever seen her like once, I think. Make a no roll with wisdom.
Sure.
Nope, you don't recognize her.
Can I? Well, I suppose I wouldn't actually. I'm new to the ship, so
You've definitely never seen this woman before.
I'll look at Booker and say, well, perhaps tonight I should resume my priestly duties and see if there's anything I can do about this young woman. I'll just nod to Booker. And yeah, I'll go over and just try and introduce myself.
Yeah, Booker's still here, just totally not trying to eavesdrop at all.
Yeah, that's
Doing
fine,
his
Booker.
best
You
to
can
just
be
look like he's
yeah.
just
You can
drinking
be
whiskey.
you can be listening. All right, so Valencia, you walk across the room to the table, and she's just sitting there. She like takes a drink, puts it down. Doesn't really notice you walk up until you say something.
Yeah, I'll kind of maybe not. I wouldn't sit down next to her, but maybe opposite her on the table, and just say, quite a drink to be drinking alone here so late at night. Are you all right?
She looks just like deadpan, like stares at you.
Just calmly smile.
We're all priests and nosy as you are.
Only the ones that care deeply about the people around them. But I hold up my hands and I say, obviously, your life is not any of my business. I am just offering a helping hand. If you do not wish it, I will gladly take myself to bed. But I am Chaplain Valencio. I am new to the ship.
Yeah, and she looks you up and down. She looks you up and down at your like black like priest outfit, and she's like, "Well, it looks like you're already dressed for it. So you take your silk pajamas, you just turn your little priestly butt around. You get out of here. I got drinking to do."
I will nod. I'll say, of course, I will absolutely respect your wishes, but if there is something on your mind, this will only offer a temporary solution. My door is open if you would like a more permanent one. And then I'll head out, give a little salute to Booker, and then leave. I'm not going to invade her personal business if she doesn't want me to. Yeah, my lady.
My Booker. Okay. All right. So you leave.
The bottle that she grabbed, was it the one that Booker was drinking?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the one you were both drinking from. She just
saying
took
a word,
it.
because Booker just pounded his whiskey without saying a word. He like looks at the glass, gets up, walks over to her table with his glass and goes, doesn't even look at her, grabs the bottle.
I don't think you even have to grab the bottle. I think if you walk over and you sit down, she just fills the glass for you. And then does the kind of like, don't talk to me. Cheers.
Yep.
And then
Booker doesn't say a goddamn thing. He's just like,
perfect. Okay. Excellent. And that's a great last scene, right? We see the two of you sitting in the bar, your reflections in the window, Hyra glittering beautifully down below, and we fade out on that scene. So nice work, everybody. That was a great one. That was super fun. Let me give you some experience, because I think everybody got XP. For example, Booker, find out how they manipulated the synth. You did that. They used Cygnus codes passed to them by a triangulum. Well, he's an asteroid now. And then Valencio, find out how Carsten knew there was a synth on board. They had access to the database.
Yup.
Someone in chat just suggested we name the bar Pores to Bear. That's good. It's nice to get it, because that's the that's crux stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Nomi, you wanted to find Marlo, which you did, and you wanted to interrogate him, which you did. You know everything that he knew before he became a space ice cube. And then Kieran, you wanted to find out Sunil Hummel's connection to the terrorists. You did that. Now you got to know what to do with it. Because your secret friends, they're like, here, you're a Valen. You handle this.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. So everybody got experience. Congratulations. Cool. Let's do some shout outs and we'll go and record the post show. Anne, why don't you start us off? Do the thing.
Sure. Awesome. Hello, I am AnneMunition. I am a variety streamer. I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. Currently, I've been playing through Spider-Man, which I have not finished yet, but I'm going to play that later tonight in about maybe an hour and a half. Well, actually, an hour and a half because we have to do the Patreon video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And thank you as always to the rest of the crew for putting on a good show. I had a really good time today, and you can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. All that stuff is all the same. AnneMunition. I'll see you guys next time. Oh my god, there's a spider on my camera.
Oh no! Run!
I just looked at the camera to follow me on stuff, and now there's a spider that's attached to my camera. No. Oh no.
Channel
Don't
Nomi. Take it out.
go to someone else. Get me out of here. I'm scared, dude.
JP's fixing it.
It's fine. It's fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry.
I have to get a new camera now.
Yeah,
So you
a
have to
spider
burn it.
touched it. I like how you like Spider-Men, but not spiders. Come on now. All right, Max, do the thing. I hope you don't have any insects or arachnids on your camera.
I do not have any insects yet. But if they were here, I would kill them swiftly. Yeah, that was a good show. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm gonna go stream even more. No, you can follow me on all the stuff if you want to, and follow my journey through my being on cast all day today. But I had a good time playing Booker again as always. Thanks, of course, to the cast and Adam for doing their thing, keeping it interesting. And yeah, we'll see what happens next time. I'm gonna go channel Booker and drink some whiskey, and then we just gonna keep streaming. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching.
You're a machine.
Excellent. Thank you. He is. Wait, he's a machine. Get him. Synth.
You
Mark,
have my
Mark, why don't
attention?
you go next?
Hello?
Yeah.
I was gonna
So
kill the
this
spider,
will
but
be-
I can wait.
This will be Max's last show with us. He is going to be disappearing for no reason at all. Bye, everybody. So why don't you, Mark, go ahead. Do the thing while I prepare the implements for getting rid of the synth in our midst.
Hello. Thanks for watching. You can check me out at all the links being shown on the screen. I mainly have been doing a lot of YouTube content lately. The main thing I do is I do a D&D show called High Rollers. That's every Sunday. You can check it out on twitch.tv/jugscast or twitch.tv/HighRollersDND. That's at 9 a.m. Pacific or 5 p.m. UK time. Massive thank you to everybody. This was a really great episode. I genuinely think this is one of the best RP episodes we've done in a while, and everybody is great. I love playing this game. Big thanks to Adam for making such an awesome, cool sci-fi game that I love playing in every week. Yeah, check it all out. I'm going to go to bed after this. I'm not going to be streaming because it's late.
Good call. Good call. Last but not least, reppin' House Vela. It's that bronze girl.
Hi, hello. I'm that bronze girl. You can find me online. Believe it or not, I'm on mark time because this is pretty much the end of my day too. I usually I wake up really early in the morning at 5 a.m. So yeah. Hi, hello. Totally need a cup of coffee. Thank you so much for coming by as always. Playing a noble is weird. I'm too used to being a pleb. I miss being a pleb when you didn't get coded information that you're afraid you're going to get killed over. Life was simpler as Riley. Could just sit with my drones and pretend I was a robot. Anyways, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch. And I'll see y'all in the post show.
Hell yeah. Well, cool. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let me just post the Q&A. There it goes. So yeah, go and ask me questions. Thanks as always to... so before today's episode, I spent 20 minutes just digging around in the Verona wiki. There's so much good shit in there. If you haven't looked at it already, the fans have been creating all kinds of amazing stuff. So go look at that if you want more of the Verona-verse. You can find me doing my thing on Twitter at skinnyghost or twitch.tv/AdamKoble. Sometimes I play video games, but mostly I do RPG stuff. So give me a follow if you like RPG crap. And you will see me again right here for Quarter Swords next week, which If you're not watching it, watch Court of Swords. Last episode was a lot. So yeah, check that out. That's it for us. I don't know, buy a t-shirt. I guess we have merch now. We have beautiful, beautiful t-shirts.
Yeah.
I don't know if JP's ready to throw that up there, but go and check it out. Maybe he'll
Some
talk about it
merch.
afterwards. We're gonna go and we're gonna record the post show, which you can watch if you're a patron. Patreon.com/roleplay. Go and do it. Watch the videos. Buy a t-shirt. Watch our shows. Thank you for doing all those things. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Later.